For me, it's goal. Welcome to a For Me, It's Goal edition of the Managing Madrid podcast. We are recording this shortly after Real Madrid hoist the Intercontinental Cup final and beat Pachuca 3-0. We're going to break it down. We're going to bring in Leah Ravel in a second here. And we also just wanted to give a quick shout out to our presenting sponsors, TAFC Academy. If you have children in Toronto, in Ontario, and you want to enroll them in a top tier academy, get the best coaching, best staff, best facilities, go to tacsports.ca. That is the place you want to go to, tacsports.ca. And of course, a thank you as always to the incredible people at TAFC Academy. Also, special discount code for those of you who love Moji Mates. And you know that we do. We rock a bunch of Moji Mates shirts on this show. Go to moji-mates.com and use code MojiMates20. That's a discount code of 20% valid until January 7th. moji-mates.com, moji-mates.com. Use code MojiMates20. All right, let's break it down. Real Madrid 3, Pachuca 0. And we're going to bring in Leah Ravel in about 25 seconds.
Nice article in the Managing Madrid blog. Wonderful lads that do a great job there. And worth reading about that man there. Karim Benzema needs to rest, and the numbers reveal why.
Times ended up almost looking like a 6-3-1. Some very good writing about that on the Managing Madrid website. First-rate podcast as well. Of course, Fede Valverde was a huge part of the equation.
Welcome, Leah. What's up? I saw you laughing backstage while that video was playing in the intro.
I was dying. I'm so happy that you had that. You had both. For me, opponent no interfering. For me, es goal.
A meme was born. First of all, bring this referee back to La Liga. Just bring him back on the team plane. We could use him. Great stuff. Great job, referee. Dealt with everything correctly. And I'm just like, anytime I get in an argument with someone, and especially if Diego tells me, if Diego complains about anything Real Madrid, like a goal that Real Madrid score, I'm just going to look him dead in the eye and say, for me, it's goal. It's done. It's done. I don't need anything else. Incredible material. Well done, referee. So, Real Madrid 3, Pachuca 0. Leo, where does this rank from 1 to 10? On a scale of 1 to 10, how invested are you in a game like this?
I mean, here's the thing. Normally, I would say, like, in reference to your tweet, the Disney Plus, whatever, that cup, like, it's not.
It wasn't me. I don't know who that was going crazy on the Managing Madrid Twitter account.
Sorry, Managing Madrid, their tweet. They're, like, do you know what I mean? I feel like the stakes aren't super high, but a trophy's a trophy, A. And B, like, given our most recent form, I feel like it was a test for the players, and also it was an opportunity to build some confidence, to get some match fitness and some form back. Because, like, at the beginning, I was concerned. I was concerned until things took a turn for the better. After like just before halftime, after the first goal, I would say. But yeah, normally I would say it would rank low, but today I feel like it ranked a little bit higher.
Two trophies this season already, and it's December. And mind you, they're not the trophies that we necessarily want at the top of our list by the end of the season. I think we all want champions in La Liga. At the end, maybe a bonus Copa del Rey, but that's wishful thinking probably. But nevertheless, we won the 2 finals we played in. Mbappe, 2 goals in the 2 finals. In this game, I'm not entirely sure we had to overexert ourselves and go get out of, first gear, really. I don't think it required us to do so. And I'm fine with that. I thought it was a pretty sluggish start. I mean, I was surprised that Pachuca were pressing as if they were Ajax 2019 to start this game. We struggled with that. We struggled with our build-up coming out of the back. I think Jude struggled early on with his passing, but once he got into the game, he looked really crisp, and he was the main source of outlet as we were getting, trying to find the right passes out of the back. His movement all over the field was key. he was always the open man, and it was because of his runs off the ball and his proactive nature of just making sure the team finds solutions to some of these pressing sequences they were facing. And that press, they weren't able to sustain it.
Yeah.
And they also had nothing going forward. I mean, Rondon is what, 36? And
Yeah.
their left winger, Idrisi,
Yeah.
gave Lucas Vasquez some problems. But other than that, they didn't really do too much to bother us on the other end. They did score an offside goal. But this was a pretty comfortable win, all things considered. We got better as the half wore on. Vinicius, just some incredible stuff on the opening goal. And Rodrigo's goal was insane. I mean, it felt like he was playing in slow motion during that sequence. I thought Camavinga had a very strong return to the lineup. We made some subs in the second half, gave some key starters some rest. That was nice. Bang, bang. Trophy
Bang,
in the
bang.
books. How much more do we need to overanalyze? But I'm curious to know what you had that you wanted to kind of look at with a magnifying glass in this game.
Yeah, no, the same for me. We started off, I think, poorly, to be honest. But I think it comes down to mentality too. I think going into matches like this, their mindset is probably not the same as it would be going into like a match, in the Champions League or a match against a top team. So I think that sometimes though that can be that can put us at a disadvantage, because if you're not playing every game like it's a final, that's when you can kind of get complacent. And I think that's just kind of the way that it was leading up to the goal, because the goal, that was our first shot on target. That was our first shot on target, first goal. So we got very fortunate. And the build up to the goal, like you said, Jude, was immense in that build up. Vinny for his return also, and then Mbappe's run closer to in front of goal to receive that ball and have the shot was really good. I think Mbappe is, I mean, listen, he's a demon at Lusail Stadium, isn't he? But I think that he's looking a little more confident. I think him coming back from injury too, taking him off. I'm back and forth, because I feel like when he's building confidence like that, it could be good to keep him on, give him more opportunities, but also he scored a goal, he looked good, and he's coming back from an injury, so it was probably best to just protect him in that sense. Camavinga, I think, also had a strong return. Same thing, he was injured, so I can understand why he went off early to protect him from future matches in La Liga and Champions League coming up. But yeah, I think Camavinga specifically, like Jude, we know what he does. We know the creativity he adds in midfield. But Camavinga, I tweeted this, that I always forget how young he is based on the way that he plays, the composure that he has, the confidence on the ball, but also the confidence going into tackles, and his decision making, his decisiveness on in the blink of an eye, is that of a player with many more years experience at the top level. So I thought he was really sharp, and I think that our midfield functions a lot better when he's on the field, which I think we all know.
There's no question, especially with the way Tchouaméni has been playing in midfield specifically. I was pretty happy with this, not only with Camavinga coming back and playing as well as he did. Maybe he made one or two mistakes, but he looked largely great. Mm-hmm. His ball winning in midfield is just so key, and he's such a strong ball carrier, and he always looks for vertical solutions. And I think it was just ideal that we were able to wrap this up in the second half. And those subs, I mean, I'd have to look at what time they came in, but they came in pretty early. So we had the late ones were Goulier and Asensio, 88th minute. I mean, that was maybe unnecessarily late, to be quite honest with you, to get Bellingham some extra rest. Bellingham and Vasquez came off with 2 minutes left in the game, 3-0. Modric comes in for Rodrigo in the 70th minute. Ceballos and Brahim in for Mbappe and Camavinga in the 62nd minute. So it's funny, Leah, because there was a lot of discussion and chatter about the starting lineup and whether or not Real Madrid should rest players more. And Lucas made this point on Twitter that Real Madrid complains so much about the grueling schedule and, short squad, not able to rotate more. And he said, well, how can we complain if we're just not using this opportunity to rotate? And I mean, I have a pretty clear, in my opinion, counter argument to that, and that this is a final, whether we value it as a final or not. It's a final that they're
Yeah.
playing in. And but the other thing that I keep looking at is that I think games like this are good for Mbappe confidence levels, and with him specifically, I think he just needs to get going with more reps as much as possible.
Yeah.
Um, and then hopefully you can rack it up and then make some subs in the second half, and that's pretty much what happened. But I'm curious to know what you thought of Mbappe's performance.
No, I thought he was good, and I agree with you completely. I think that he should have started this. Camavinga should have started this. Those two are coming back from injury, so in order to get the match fit and also play in a final, to have the match mentality back after being out for not so long, but for some time, to build that confidence back and get the match fitness back, I think is fine. I don't like. I think Mbappe throughout the whole game, like the way that he was managed by Ancelotti and also his performance, I think was like check, check, check. You know, I think he went off early, which is good because he's still coming back from injury. He went off early before like the penalty. Like, had he been on to take the penalty, that could have been like a disservice to him if he missed again. You know, so he went off with the confidence that he should have after his performance. I thought that he looked better. He looked a little more confident. He was making better runs. He was just more alert. Like he didn't seem like he just didn't give a shit or like didn't want to be there, you know? So I think it was the perfect opportunity for him to grow into the game and like also build his skill level back or build his confidence back. What I didn't like though is I agree with Lucas in that sense that there's some players that should have started, you know, Vinny too, coming back from injury, cool. But making, even if they started that full 11, you know, why didn't Raul Asensio start, let alone come in the 60th? Endrick, Arda, like all these players, Brahim should have had, I think, more minutes, in my opinion, especially once we went up by 1 or 2 goals. Like once we had control of the game, at that point, you know, there's no point, in my opinion, in keeping all of these players on. All of these like starting 11 consistent players for the full 90, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think by 1-0, I felt pretty confident, but I can understand, like, okay, it's only 1-0. By 2-0, I felt very confident. Then 3-0,
Yeah.
obviously, that's when the late subs came. But I think with regards to Asensio, it might be just time for us as a fan base to accept the truth. Just like we'll never have a good press, we'll never track runners into the box. The third truth at this point is Carlo will never start Asensio over Tchouaméni if they're both healthy. So
Yeah.
I am in that camp. I've accepted that truth as well.
Do you think that Tchouaméni will, like the way that things are going now, Militao's obviously out for a significant amount of time. Tchouaméni, since he's been back from injury, has proven that he plays a little bit better as a center half
Yes.
rather than a DM.
No question.
Do you think that Ancelotti will like transition him to a center back permanently?
I think that's what's happening right before our eyes. Now, I think that conversation might change if Camavinga's not in the lineup, but if Camavinga's back, we now have, in my opinion, the best 6 in our team playing as a 6.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you think back to 2-3 years ago, I didn't feel that way. I thought Tchouaméni would have been the clear 6. This is year 3 of Tchouaméni, right?
Yeah.
I thought Camavinga, I've always said this, like I didn't love him as a 6, in part because he seemed to be more press resistant as an 8 or at left back for whatever reason than he was as a 6. But I also kept saying at that time that he's just so good at so many things that he's going to figure this 6 thing out, and he's going to be awesome there as well. And that's what he's done. So I would just go with Camavinga as a 6 and Tchouaméni as a CB and just play it out that way. At this point, especially because we have like no defenders apart from Asensio and Rudiger. So you need a third center back at this point, and God knows what's happening with David Alaba. It's not looking great. Can we go back to Mbappe for a second? I liked what I saw from him.
Yeah.
I think it was to you what I was mentioning. It was to you that I was mentioning this a while ago that I felt like he had maybe lost some explosiveness. It wasn't just mental; it may have also been physical. He didn't look as explosive, but I think the last few games he's looked better. I thought today he had some explosiveness.
Yeah.
He did really good to get past his marker in tight spaces in the box. Was pretty good in transition.
Hmm.
Did well to score the goal.
Wasn't offside.
Was not offside. Got a lot of. It's kind of gotten to a toxic place with fans with him.
Yeah.
Weirdly, he just got a lot of criticism for scoring a tap in, which is a weird thing to criticize someone about, like just getting into the right space and moving off the ball and finishing a chance.
Yeah.
It always drove me nuts when Cristiano Ronaldo would get criticized as a tap in merchant. And I was like, look, man, if it was that easy, everyone would just have tap ins all day. Like that,
This is
you
the
have to consider
thing.
off ball movement.
Now, this is the thing, and it's you can really tell the people that play football and the people that don't play football.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You can tell who are fans like from their couch and who has actually played because to have the football IQ to know to make the run to the right place at the right time while staying on side and then the actual like tap in itself. Like it happens so fast. It's so easy to miss. You have to place it perfectly. Like it's not just, you know what I mean? It's a lot harder than people make it seem. There's a lot that goes into tap ins. So, yeah, I think I agree. I agree. I think he looked a lot better. And it's games like these where like, it's games like these that Ancelotti's done the right thing by starting him, by playing him, where he will, like maybe it is Pachuca, okay, but these are the kinds of games that he needs to build whatever he's lost in the last few weeks. So, in time for the second half of the season, I think that's like a huge plus.
Ancelotti, Ancelotti's has said several times in the last few press conferences, and admittedly, has said a lot of weird things. But one thing he's emphasized, and this is something that I just generally say every year, is that you just want to make sure you're alive and in the thick of all competitions. And for me, it's unfortunately this is the way how Real Madrid have operated in most of my fandom. It's like you just kind of need to buy yourself time until you figure it out. And sometimes with Real Madrid, it takes a long time to figure out, unfortunately. So this is where we are. I mean, you and I are going to be doing a end of year review where we go through our 2024 kind of like favorite moments. Gonna guess that quite a few of them are at the tail end of the season, but tail end of last season. Just is the way how Real Madrid operates. So has it been a perfect campaign? Far from it. There's been a lot of things that need to be criticized and are rightfully criticized that need to improve. But here we are, pretty much at the top of the table, neck and neck with two other teams, and still alive, and still hoping that the team can get healthy and get rhythm.
The thing for me, I think it's like a testament to how high our expectations are as Madrid fans and what we know that we're capable of and have been capable of in the past. Like it's just like it's a different level of success. Do you know what I mean? It's December. Like it's not even the end of December. Like it's December 18th. And the season started a little over 2 months ago? Well, 3 maybe at this point. We won 2 trophies. We're pretty much at the top. A few hiccups here and there. And based on our performances and also like the amount of injuries we've had, it's pretty damn good. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of people have the mentality of like it being May, like the season being over or coming to a close. But like we've not even gotten to the bread and butter of the season yet, and we have already accomplished what we have. So in hindsight, it's not as bad as it feels. I just think we're used to somewhere up here, like exceeding expectations rather than getting by, you know?
Yeah, there's still a lot of suffering left for
Yeah.
us. A lot of heart palpitations left.
Yeah.
I'm just doing a quick glance to see if Carlos said anything after the game. I think. Do you have your screen on? Are they doing trophy stuff right now? Celebrations?
No, I closed it.
Mm. I bet you wouldn't have closed it if this was a Champions League final. This was
I wouldn't have.
this was up
I
there for
wouldn't
you.
have.
Carlo did say some stuff after the game.
I did see that. He didn't say much.
No, it was this was I think pitch side stuff. Couple just milestones for our players. Modric now surpasses Carvajal's record with the most titles in Real Madrid history. He's at 28. So he surpasses Carvajal and Nacho. And
Lucas Vasquez had one too, I think.
Ancelotti as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Is he the most successful coach trophy count wise in the history of Real Madrid? Is that true?
I think so. And then I'm trying to find the Lucas Vasquez one. There's another one too. Lucas Vasquez is crazy to me because I always forget that he's as old as he is. In my head, he's like 23.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think they're doing pitch side stuff still, so that we might not get the press conference until a little bit later. But I'm sure you will see all the press conference quotes on managingmadrid.com as well as the Twitter handle. And we'll take a quick super chat, and then we got to run out of here. So Nishlish Patel says, great kit rep, Keon. I have the same one. This might be the first time I've ever worn a Real Madrid jersey on the podcast. And I had to wear it for something that I was doing. But I'll do a quick spin. Do you have any guesses on who's on the back? This is like 06 range, maybe?
RC3?
No.
Oh, well. Show me. Let's see.
That was a fail. Hold on.
Has to be. You can barely see it.
The Haas.
There it is.
Haas. All right. Leah, any concluding thoughts before we get out of here?
My only concluding thoughts is I think it's up from here. I hope, I pray it's up from here. Most of our players are back, are healthy and looking good. Rodrigo is getting back into his good form. Vinny looked insane. Mbappe is getting back into form. Camavinga looks great. And our depth, despite not having any, what we do have, Brahim had a back heel that was disgusting. Ceballos looks good. Arda is relatively consistent. So I think we're in a good spot. I feel like I'd like to see something happen in the winter transfer window, even though it won't. But yeah, up from here.
There was some individual moments of brilliance in this game that were just crazy. I mean, you think of Vinny setting up Mbappe. You think of Rodrigo's goal. You think about some of the incredible link-up play between Vinny and Jude in tight spaces in the opponent's box. There was just a lot of great individual moments as well.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. What do we got? Leah, you and I are recording the end of season review. And then we got a ton of content up for members right now over on patreon.com/managingmadrid. I think we did 2 yesterday, including the monthly live call that we did. And if you want access to that, go to patreon.com/managingmadrid or hit the join tab on the YouTube membership section of this channel. And we got also, it's not over yet. We got La Liga still. We got Sevilla on the 22nd, and that'll be the final game of the year. So catch us over on patreon.com/managingmadrid and then again on the YouTube channel on Sunday. Leah, thank you. Appreciate your time. Listeners,
Likewise.
Thank you. Thanks for hopping on. Congrats to everyone on winning the Intercontinental Cup 2024.
Woo.
And peace out.
Peace out.